talk about workplace learning, we're also talking about trying to nurture a future employee profile, okay, because workplace learning, a large part of the push comes from Skills Future. And again, buzzwords, Skills Future is really about skills mastery, skills deepening. So it's really about creating, future-proof employees. So when I look at, how Jacob Morgan, one of the thought leaders in the area of future workers, okay, I thought he actually encapsulated the qualities of future employees quite nicely. Okay, and that which is really that future employees will be working in and will want to have a flexible work environment. Okay, and I think that's increasingly being featured, okay, with more companies allowing, telecommuting arrangements, etc. Really, learning shouldn't be just happening in the physical locality of the workplace. It should be happening everywhere, anywhere. And even now, for many of us, we are away from our workplace, but we're actually learning, okay, and hopefully for work too. Okay, so of course, I think employees should be empowered to be able to customize their own work. So, like I mentioned just now, actually bosses don't really necessarily have a very good grasp of the exact skills and competencies needed for their employees to do the work. It's the employees themselves who know it. Okay, but the problem is that, and the interesting thing is that many of these employees have actually been getting by even without a formal job role or description. Okay, there are a surprising number of SMEs that don't actually have formal job role and descriptions. And when we ask the employees, so how do you know what you need for your work? How do you know you're doing well? Not really. Okay, so I think that's something that becomes quite a powerful message for us, that there's actually a lot more that we need to do to empower staff to actually take a lot more control over how they do the work. Okay, and of course there should be a lot more information sharing, allowing for new ways to actually communicate and collaborate. Okay, and in a way, the notion of distributed expertise, okay, in the sense that everyone can become a leader regardless of their official designation. Okay, because if you are in an ideal state of workplace learning, in a way, everyone has something to teach a fellow co-worker. And that's probably the best way of building up a learning organization, rather than always relying on your supervisors or your managers, okay, who are often overstretched and not necessarily have the best capacity or even the disposition to be the ones coaching your fellow employees. Okay? And of course, this whole idea of shifting from a knowledge worker to a learning worker. So I think knowledge worker is something that we're all quite familiar with, okay, doing problem solving. Okay, but increasingly in the turbulent environment, the VUCA environment that we live in, it's really, we might be having to deal with problems that are not actually known or defined. So I think building up the capacity of your workers to be able to learn is actually more important, okay, than even just the content itself, which can become very quickly outdated. Okay, and this whole idea of being able to learn and teach at will. So again, the idea of expertise doesn't reside in only a few individuals. Every one of your employees should be able to learn and to be able to teach others. Okay, so that's really the kind of future employee profile that we hope enterprises can work towards. Okay, so then I'll also share again in the idea of curating information. So all this is not new. I didn't come up with it. Okay, but I think my role is really to maximize the use of half an hour that I have with you, curate nuggets of this knowledge, which I think is quite useful to help us have a new way to frame the idea of workplace learning. Okay, so I actually extract this illustration from Jane Hart. Okay, she's actually one of the quite renowned practitioners in workplace learning. And she has this very nice way of framing the idea of modern workplace learning, okay, where it's actually on a continuum. Okay, and it's very interesting that actually learning from formal causes forms the smallest percentage, okay, followed by this idea of L&D professionals actually curating resources, okay, learning as well as performance aids, which can be made on demand available to workers, okay, and also spending a lot more time on engendering social collaboration, okay, which is really important because most of the work that we do doesn't happen in isolation. We are constantly working alongside our colleagues, working with suppliers, working with customers. So all these interactions are actually learning points for us. Okay, but the problem is that we don't realize it. Okay, and when you don't realize it, you are not able to harness it properly. Okay, and of course, very importantly, the largest percentage goes towards helping people be better at personal learning. Okay, and again, there is quite a strong use of technology here, using the wealth of resources out in the web, but making sure that they are curated to be bite-sized so people don't actually feel overwhelmed. Okay, so you'll notice that in this graph itself, I think it sends out very strong signals on what kind of a role L&D professionals will have to play. Okay, so the kind of role that we are more familiar with, okay, right at the smallest end of this diagram, okay, needs to be really beefed up with, by going into some of the other areas, okay, on this graph. Okay, so in a nutshell, if I have to talk about some of the guiding principles for workplace learning, okay, so it should really be on demand, okay, it should be autonomous. So this whole idea of push learning, okay, is something that we will need to temper a lot more, just because if people don't feel the need for it, they're unlikely to do much with it, okay? And it should always be micro and bite-sized, okay, taking place on the go and in the flow of work. Okay, the social element is extremely important, as a lot of the literature and even our own research suggests. And very importantly, of course, it needs to be performance-oriented. So for the longest time, I think we've always been tracking training according to happy sheets. Okay, I'm very happy with the training. Okay, I learned something supposedly. Okay, but increasingly, we're trying to move L&D practitioners towards really asking ourselves, whatever intervention that we have mounted. Okay, I'm not even talking about training. Okay, because training again suggests a certain paradigm. So we now like to use the idea of intervention that we are mounting. Okay, is it actually making an impact in terms of the business indicators that matter to the enterprises? Okay. So again, some food for thought, okay, for what it means for L&D and HRD practitioners. Okay, but like I mentioned, okay, even before we talk about, maybe exploring, okay, for a lot of companies, one of the first things that they'll think about when they say, I want to use more technology in my workplace is LMS. Okay, that's something that I'm quite familiar with, but at the same time, they'll also think that LMS is very expensive, so that's why they'll also, be a bit hesitant. Okay, so we try to tell them that actually, why don't we work with what's already happening at your workplace? Okay, and there are lots of these good things that are happening, as our diagnostic will show. So we tell you to piggyback on your strengths and look at really getting more mileage out of it. So I'm going to show you a video resource that IAL has actually also come up with, which is really one of the many resources that we have on different kinds of workplace learning methods, and all of them extremely doable. Okay, because they are all to do with, for example, how people ask questions, how you actually run a meeting, how you actually conduct a demonstration, how do you do coaching. Okay, all things that we are already doing anyway. Okay, just that there's actually a better way of doing it. Okay, so there's actually a positive and a negative demonstration for each of these workplace learning methods. And I think there are about 42 of them. They are on the website, which I will show you the URL of later. Okay, but what I will show you in the interest of time is just a negative demonstration. Okay, because I find that usually is a bit more engaging. And actually, we learn a lot more by looking at what's not right. Okay, so.
Come guys, get around. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to fillet a fish. Okay?
Chef, so you're saying we are going to learn fillet o fish?
Fillet a fish. You got a hearing problem, is it, James? Go and clean your ears. Okay, watch and learn. First, you cut off the head of the fish just behind the gills, like this. Easy. Okay, then you hold the fish by the tail with the knife blade pointing away from you and across the body of the fish. Start cutting towards the head. Simple, right? Okay, now remember, use the backbone of the fish as a guide for your knife. Okay, to take the skin off, begin by holding the fillet by the tail, skin side down. Okay, hold the knife crosswise across the fillet and insert the knife between the skin and the flesh. So while holding the skin, cut in the direction of where the head used to be. Done. So easy. Hey James, you move around so much, think you know everything, is it? Come, show us how to do this.
Me?
Yes, you. Have you been paying attention? Dreaming of your fillet or fish, is it? Show us step by step how you do this. If you do not know, I'm gonna kick you out of this kitchen.
No, but just now you were talking too fast. I can't remember everything.
Oh, you saying I'm a lousy trainer, is it?
No. Okay, I'll try.
Come.
So first you cut the head.
Well done. I think we all agree we should cut off his head.
Okay, so again, I think workplace demonstration is something that we're all very familiar with. Okay, of course, I think some of the practices here are exaggerated for comic effect. Okay, but I think it's not to say that it entirely doesn't happen. We might all be guilty of it to some degree in varying extents. Okay, so I think there is actually a positive demonstration of how to do workplace demonstration. Okay, as one of the video resources on our website. And this is something very concrete that we offer freely available to enterprises, practitioners, training providers, which they can then use to really just mount a very simple, to do on, what are some of the best practices that you can observe when doing something simple like workplace demonstration. Okay, in fact, you can use it for a myriad of purposes. Okay, to teach workplace communication skills, workplace bullying. Okay, so I think there are really many different ways that you can actually use these resources. Okay, but I think the intention is start with something that's not too forbidding, not too daunting, because it's something that they are already familiar with. Okay, and these are the small ways that changes can actually be made. Okay, so if really, again, I thought another way of reframing this whole idea of the different modes of learning and thinking about learning in a different way, okay, I've actually managed to find this a very useful infographic, which I think conveys the message very simply and elegantly, okay, without simplifying it too much. Okay, so if we liken learning to water, okay, then these are the different modes of learning. Okay, learning can be in the form of a course. Okay, so it can be a cup of water placed in front of you, but you're not too enthusiastic to drink it. Okay, it can be in the form of push learning. Okay, where literally you just pour it over the person's head. Okay, which again is not an ideal situation. It can be pull learning. Of course, the best scenario, the person actually wants to drink himself. Okay, and it could be micro learning. You really break it up into little cups, so it's a lot more palatable, a lot more digestible. It can be blended learning. You can even go, one class higher, make some cocktails for the person. Okay, and of course provide performance support. Okay, so the person doesn't know how to drink. Okay, you really feed it to the person. Okay, but the most ideal, I would say, would be a learning ecosystem. Okay, where literally the person is in an immersive environment of learning. Okay, it's very relaxed. Okay, and the learning and the knowledge and the skills is there for the person to pull and play, plug and play, anytime, anywhere. Okay, and obviously the person is in control. Okay, so I thought this was a very simple infographic by Arun Pradhan to actually convey this very complex message sometimes. Okay, because again, the biggest part of our work is getting into enterprises and telling them, what exactly are you trying to do? Huh? Can I have a free course, please? Yeah. Can I have more subsidies, please? Okay, that's something that they are a lot more able to tap onto quickly. Okay, so when I actually, if you remember the first video that I showed, okay, there was a lot of comparisons made between nurturing workplace learning as like growing a plant. Okay, so a lot of enterprises, they do need a little bit of help in that area. Most of them don't even have the luxury of L&D professionals in-house. Okay, their HR doubles up as their L&D. Okay, so the first thing that they'll tell us is we need some help. Okay, so we tell them that if you are looking for some gardeners, okay, in IL we actually have a program called the Certified Workplace Learning Specialist Program. So this is really meant to help CET practitioners, especially those who have always been working in the paradigm of classroom training, and they are now looking to get into the space of going directly into the enterprises to help them. Okay, so this program is actually meant for that. Okay, so in this program, what we actually do is to partner enterprises to actually catalyze performance through work, for work, at work. Okay, so again, to make it into very bite-sized, simple, easy to remember and understand terminology. Okay, rather than long treatise on what is it that we can do. Okay, and really it's there's no magic behind it. Okay, it's a very systematic approach that we adopt. Okay, so we will first actually work very closely with the organization to diagnose the specific performance issues that they have. Okay, and later on I'll show you some examples. We then actually co-create the intervention with them, followed by actually implement it, which can come in the form of introducing buddying practices, better on the job shadowing practices, or very often in the area of helping their managers and supervisors be able to coach staff better, okay, as well as doing evaluation, which is something that's very important and which we keep a very close eye on, okay, because one of the key things that we hold our learners in this program accountable to is whether you have really made a difference in the enterprise. Okay, it's not about whether the learners say that your training was very good. Okay, so that's something that's very key. Okay, so some examples of the performance issues that I talked about. So again, very bread and butter core issues to the companies. Okay, so companies will tell us that they would like us to reduce customer complaints, help the staff improve product knowledge. Many of them have dusty tomes of SOPs and product knowledge manuals that nobody reads. okay, and increase the confidence and ability of the staff to, operate equipment. And it's very humbling work when you actually go in and you hear these staff telling you that, oh, as a result of going through whatever IL has done for us, I'm much more confident now. Okay, they don't really talk about competent. Okay, they actually talk about confident first, okay, which is extremely important because they will share stories with you about how when I'm much more familiar with the product knowledge, I'm actually able to talk about the product a lot more confidently in front of the customer, and I don't get scolded so much. And I don't have such a shitty day, okay, so pardon the language, but that was really exactly what the workers said. So it's really, the kind of difference that we are making. Okay, and of course, improving consistency of service standards, increasing their level of engagement at work. So these are all some of the examples of issues that we can tackle very meaningfully through workplace learning. Okay. Okay, so I think with that, okay, I will just end off in the interest of time. Okay, I actually had one more video to show on how an actual intervention looks like. Okay, but I don't want to steal any more time from the last speaker. Okay, so perhaps I will encourage you to just make a note of this website URL. Okay, and there are actually a lot more resources, okay, video resources, as well as the diagnostic instrument that I mentioned that's on this website, all freely available. Okay, and of course, if you do have any questions, please feel free to drop me a mail. Okay, I'll be happy to share with you more, okay, about any aspect of the presentation. Okay, thank you so much. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon to you. Few things I learned is some about technology and some about the human nature. So one of the things that I learned about human nature is not to keep hungry people too long. So I will try to make it short. And the other thing is the device here that I'm using and my iWatch. It's first because I'm addicted to gadgets. And second, because we will do some test, live test. I have somebody somewhere, and hopefully I'm praying to God that nothing will happen. I'm praying to all three different kinds of God. It takes some time, courage to trust technology. Although you can test things many times and everything is working, still you need to pray. So I have different phone to different people to different location with the different numbers. And let's see how it will work. Anyway, a little bit 30-second history. And now you will know also my birthday and my code. And I came to Singapore about 16 years ago when I brought some technology from Israeli company at that time to create interactive video. They developed this technology about 18 years ago. And the main idea was that you can watch a video and you can click on item on the video and you can get some reaction. The reaction can be jumped to another video, you can track it, you can do everything. It was fantastic, but it was 18 years ago, which was a little bit too early. What they were thinking is to use it for e-commerce. So if you see a fashion show, you can click on the bag and you can order it. I think that today, if it will happen, it will be a big success, but it was 18 years ago. At that time, we try, my company, to use this technology basically for learning. We believe that that will be the best solution. We try, and with the help of EDB, we brought this technology over here, and we did some collaboration, And eventually EDB asked me why you will not come to live in Singapore. And I say, why not? And I just pack my suitcase and come over here, and here I am. During the years, we specialize in developing solution for MNC with rich media, because we did believe, and we still believe, and we will believe, that storytelling and video is the most important. Some people like to write text, but most of the people, and even the people that like to write text, they would like to watch a good show. You're still using Facebook and you're watching all the video that your friend shoot and the picture. That's a fact. So we still believe in video. And I still believe in this technology with a hotspot. And therefore, I asked my team during the year, explore and research. A few years ago, we managed with some innovation grants of IL to develop this technology again. And some of the things I will share with you. During the years, and I'm talking about 15 years of development over here in Singapore with MNC, we realized that the way that people learn is changing. And it's changing faster and faster. At the beginning, we developed the first course is 11 hours of e-learning for operation people. And that was a challenge. First of all, operation people will not read a lot of text. I'm talking about DHL operation. They will not read a lot of text. So we need basically to come with a different solution. And we did come with a solution that allowed them to watch some comedy. And I like, by the way, the video that you show. Comedy is important, people remember. The other thing that we realized that we need to create something that will be short. And the other thing is, I'm sorry to say, but we didn't believe in LMS. Why? Because do you think that a skilled person will log into computer, will start to look through all kind of link to the course that he need to learn? Do you think that laptop is relevant anymore? We didn't believe in it. So we decided instead of just developing content, to develop a platform that will be based, first of all, on mobile, just from the other direction, and go back to the LMS and create something for the admin. Because we decided that we don't believe that people need to log into LMS for what? If you need a report, then that's the admin. If you need to learn, then do something else. So we choose this shelf, because people used to work with shelf. And every icon, every book represents a program. And then in this program, in this program, so you have video, you have text, you have quizzes. That's a simple way to deliver content. That's most of the e-learning doing it, but that's run on a mobile. Sorry. No sound here? You see, technology, it did work. No, this should be okay. Okay, we'll have to see. But again, simple. Then we realize we need to create some kind of interactivity. And this is, first of all, another example without any interaction. Again, teaching how to cook.
Next, we're going to learn how to prepare a cooking method known as simmering. For this cooking method,
and then you have the relevant text and quiz again. But when we come to preparation of cocktail, for example, let's take a look.
Hi. Now that we have learned how to make an old
You remember what I said about hotspot? So he asks you how to prepare a cocktail, and you need to choose a bottle.
In preparing
Now,
the old-fashioned. And your choices are the Jägermeister.
I will try to click one of them.
I'm sorry, you did not click the right bottle. Please try again.
Now I'll try on the right one.
Yes, you are correct. You clicked.
So basically you can decide what item you want to link to what video, to what action, and suddenly the video can be maybe a dictionary. Maybe you can create yourself a scenario of like interactive video game. The other thing that we realize from our experience, clients don't like to pay to vendor. In general, yes, it's not something personal. They would like to develop their own stuff. So again, with the help of this innovation grant, we decided to develop the backend, which everyone can do it. It's not anymore a programming task. It's you have the video, you learn one day and you're doing it. And then again, that's a change of concept because we believe that good content should be available for everybody and not just for the one that have the money. Now, if you have enough imagination, you can create everything by yourself. And we encourage our client to do things by themselves and not pay us to do it. And we see more and more clients would like to do it. The other thing that it can give you is now maybe you can create something that don't look like e-learning, but can look for like something else. Here, for example, we decide to make something that will look like interactive fashion TV show. Let me show you how it works.
Hi guys, welcome to this amazing world of Charles and Keith fashion. Welcome to our interactive brand magazine. On this interactive magazine, you will be able to click on the elements on the video that will become Hotspot. This hotspot provides you with more information about our product,
hotspot again.
Or we'll give you a hint.
So this virtual set, we create a monitor behind her that I will click now, and I can get some more information about Charles and Keith, for example. At this stage is just information. It's not I'm testing on anything. If you see the arrow at the left side, anytime I can click back on this video, and I will go exactly to the same point where she started.
Keep that in mind and try to remember it.
Then the rest of the material, including quiz. Now, when I come to the quiz, how can I use the hotspot? So we just give a two-way how you can use, for example, even existing material. And just a little bit background, I become a little bit more expert in fashion after this project. You see a fashion show, and there is a different theme. Like you have a bag from one theme, you have shoes. What you need to do, if you are expert, you need to click on the right button that relate to the right theme. The system behind it collect the information. So you will see in a second what I'm talking about.
Hi again, guys. We're at the last step of this journey where we interact with one another and check our knowledge of the 3 themed products. At any time, you can click on the screen behind me. Remember the first clip we showed you? Now try to identify the different items, shoes, or bags, and click the relevant button for the theme.
I click. Now if you see there is a different name, I will just click on the right one that I identify. And the LMS, we have a background at the LMS, will collect all the click that I have, and I will see how good I am. Another way to use the video as an interactive video. Same concept, but if I will click on the wrong answer, I will get a video that explains to me what is the right
You'll watch the
answer.
same models now, but there will be one change.
Now, press
Whenever you
go.
see an item,
I pressed the wrong one.
On to our next theme, which is about suburbia. What is suburbia? It's all about the 70s.
So it gives me the right explanation why what I press is wrong. Again, once you have the tool, once you start to think interactive, then technology is not the barrier. It's just your imagination, what you can do. Going back from Charles and Kit, I will move to my phone, and I will show you an example. I will still move from device to device. Okay, this is an example how truck driver in Europe, 40,000 truck driver, will learn on the way. They will download this lesson one time, and the system will track later on when they will connect to the internet. Let me show you an example how they will use hotspot. I mean, that's one example.
Hello, and welcome to the Certified Freight Specialist Foundation module. Welcome to my company, which is our company, DHL Freight. My name is Simon, and I'm a driver. Many times I ask myself, what is a magical glue that connects us, the drivers, to each other and to our company? In this mobile program with its 7 modules, we will try to resolve and find the magic glue that links us together and inspire us every day. With me, I will have my colleague Julie to assist me and you through this journey. As you journey through the sessions of this module, you will soon understand what makes DHL Freight tick. Through this journey, Julie will be here to support us and, of course, my truck. When you see the truck behind me or on the screen, you can click on it. My truck will have something to add. Julie, the stage is yours. Oh, and by the way, to listen to Julie, please click on her image. Welcome to...
So I click.
Thank you, Simon. Yes, some time to discover more facts. You will need to click on the images on the video, which we call them hotspots, and we will let you know when. So let's get to our session. Welcome
to my company, the Certified Freight.
So, as you see, we are trying basically to educate our client to think interactive. Instead of just watching a regular video, they can do something a little bit different, interact between the presenter. The other thing is, again, I saw it before in that using a comedy or using something that will be interesting. I'm okay. Sorry, I warn you, there is many devices here, and they told me I have more devices than Apple Store. Okay, we leave DHL for now, and we'll come back to my tablet. And that's the last shift that I will make. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that people say is that when e-learning will be on a mobile, then everybody will learn from the bus, from the train. They will use the free time. How many people believe that that's reality? Just no one? One. Oh, you're the one. Okay. I don't believe as well, because if you have a learning and you have Facebook, you will probably go to Facebook. That's reality. And we experienced it. We did really a good program, but people took it during the working hours. After working hours, we didn't see anybody. So the question is to think sometimes technology is good, humor, comedy is good, but what will really attract people to come to the learning program? And that was something that is still something that we are thinking all the time. So we told ourselves, how about we need to look at the social part. We need to find something exotic, sexy that will attract people for 10, 15 minutes, not more than this. So everybody, when they work, they have something in the work area that interests them. For example, if you are a chef, you will be interested maybe in some kind of Malaysian cooking, and you would like if some kind of Malaysian chef will give a 10 minutes talk about it, it will be interesting for you. If you are a salesperson, if there is a vice president from Vodafone sitting in UK and he's a number one salesperson, the number one sales director, you will be interested to hear him if you have something to say, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then I believe that maybe learning will beat, for a while, will beat,
I'll stand here.
Will beat Facebook. So what we develop a kind of a social platform that allows to stream live video and you can ask questions. So it connects to the e-learning, to the mobile learning, and now if you have a topic that interested to you in the corporate itself, they will let you know what kind of upcoming event there is. In this case, this is a live streaming from a Japanese vegetarian restaurant in Bangkok, where one of my friends, that he's a trainer, and I met him in one of the sessions in IL that I conduct. I found out that he's going to Bangkok. I told him, there is an event, I want to stream a live lesson over there. So this is the one, they're waiting for me. I told them wait 30 seconds and then start. Once they will deliver the training, if you have questions that you want to ask, just prepare it, and later on I will ask them, and we will see that they can feedback immediately. Let me just message to start.
พอเราไปเปิดสุขุมวิท33เราก็คิดว่าเราจะเอาให้กับลูกค้าใช่ไหมแต่ไม่เลยไม่มีลูกค้ามาเลยอ้าว
Now, the other advantage that there is here is every corporate have people with some knowledge that interested to the rest of the people. And this kind of delivery mechanism allow them to be a trainer for the rest of the employee at this corporate. So suddenly you have not just an external trainer come, but you can have an internal trainer from your corporate as well.
Stay here first.
Yeah, please. Okay, so the name of the trainer is Vishesh. And Vishesh want to start, I don't know, maybe some know him because he's around here. he wanted to start from outside the restaurant and get to the restaurant. He decided to direct it.
I hope so. I think so. Yeah. Because this application is like really subtle.
Yeah.
It's the video thing.
Yeah, video is normally very heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you excuse me, I need to tell them to start.
Actually, we can watch inside.
He's not there?
No.
Okay.
ขอรอข้างในก่อน ร้อนอ่ะ
At the bottom of this broadcast, you see a star. Basically, I can rate the delivery of the program as well. I can rate the trainer itself. Again, I can ask a question and then make it simple.
No, huh? Broadcast lah. Broadcasting. Streaming.
Just check your battery.
26. I have a spare. Yes. Yes. Huh?
No.
What?
I told her not to come.
Okay. And that's my screen.
เห็นเขาออกไปข้างนอกแล้วขับรถออกไปไหน
We'll give it 1 minute. If they don't start, then I think they may.
เราคุยกันไม่ถึง5 นาที
Oh, we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh? Oh, it's you, huh? I thought it's Rana. Sorry.
ต้องรอคนเข้ามาดู
รอที่นู่นเขาเปิดอะค่ะ
As you see, as for now, it's not a technology issue, it's a human issue. Yeah. I will make one more try to tell them to start.
G เหมือนกันอะมันเหมือน
Please start. Please start. Start. Let Vishesh start to train. 300 people watching you. Bye.
Okay.
That's the pressure element.
Okay, thank you very much. Right now we have 100 people watching me. Please start right now.
Start เลยเหรอ
Now you see also the feedback. She explained to them the 300 people watching. So you see the speed.
Okay. Let me start. Yep.
Okay, so this is live from Bangkok, and hopefully now we will get to the restaurant and we'll see a few of the dishes.
Hi, my name is Vishesh. I'm from Singapore. Welcome, conference guys from Singapore as well. We are here in Bangkok today. Different. Come, let's go for lunch.
Now, later on, I will show you the real lesson, the mobile learning lesson that we have. It's about a different Asian style of dining. So this is a way, again, you take the e-learning and then you get to the live streaming and you can ask questions. And this is how you basically real blend and make things a little bit more attractive. So for us, I know that people are hungry, and then I will just show you the last part. Now, how do I link between the two? There is an icon on the right side, and once I click it, I get to the shelf again. I can take the lesson. So this is how I blend between two methods of delivery. Now, when you are doing face-to-face training, you can consider to have experts from other countries. You can consider to let people participate. What we are planning, for example, for Charles and Keith is to have their employee become the broadcaster as well. Then you know that the learning become efficient, and because they are now, instead of the guy, the lady at the studio, they are taking over the trainer as well. So, and people immediately can rate there. And then now we are closing a circle. We say, okay, that's a way maybe to assess them if they learn something, because they are the one that become the broadcaster themselves. We still have them explaining us about the dish over there. We'll just take another look.
With spatial curry from us. Please try.
This, Mon, you were saying this is mock pork?
Yes, mock pork.
Okay, what is it made out of?
Pork, veggie.
So, by the way, as that I mentioned before, that's a way that I can rate the delivery, and immediately it's been tracked. I think that especially after this show, I will not keep you anymore, because I probably make you even more hungry. So thank you, everybody, and have a good lunch.
To end the session, I will just quickly invite our group director and chief research officer to give this closing address. Hope you can.
Thanks. Thank you for your patience to stay throughout the whole morning. I think there's a lot of learning for all of us. Last October, in WDA, we launched the Innovative Learning 2020. I'm not sure how many of you have read about it and participated. I think that the essence is we want everybody in every company, in every individuals, to start thinking about learning quite differently. Not just about technology, actually, honestly, like Poi Shan said, technology just enabled, but it's about how we perceive and how we want to participate in it. So I hope you all have great takeaway from today, and please do stay connected, because we have set up the innovative innovative lab. Is it innovative lab? In lab upstairs at 5th and 6th floor. If you want to know about where to start, you're not sure, you just drop by the lab, because we have people who have the directory of who's who. Like today, all the technologies on the COSPAD or our TreeView Global, and also our Microsoft, for example, we have all the directory of who can do what together. So the key thing is about participate. And then I think it's very important that we do small little baby steps. And it's never about investing in an expensive technology. Just start something small that you can manage. There are a lot of freeware you can use. There are a lot of people you can work together. So I think with that, I just want to end the session, and lunch is upstairs. Lunch is upstairs at 3rd floor. Just take the escalator up. You go to the library, you'll see a big platform area that we have a lot of buffet for you. Thank you very much. Please stay around and chit-chat. Thanks.